Kia ora anō. There are calls to expand our rail network for passengers using already existing infrastructure to help fight the climate crisis and beat traffic. You used to be able to travel near and far by train. Have a look at this. It's all the routes you could take at some point during rail's heyday. Auckland to Rotorua, Napier to Wellington, even Christchurch to Dunedin as recently as 2002. But now New Zealanders have far fewer choices. Only a handful of our passenger train services between major cities and towns remain, and most of these links are infrequent tourist services put on pause due to the pandemic. With transport now our second biggest source of emissions, Wilson Longhurst looks into how we can crack our car dependency and get back on the track.
For those that are travelling to Tauranga and Rotorua, your train will be arriving on platform 1 at 8:10.
2001, Central Auckland, and a train's off to Bay of Plenty.
Morning, can you ticket please?
It gets there at the same speed as a car, but it's one of the last regular passenger services to link our biggest centres, a mode of transport largely left in the past.
Basically, we had rail to almost any town or village of consequence.
Today, New Zealand's railways stretch more than 4,000 kilometres, mostly moving freight up and down the country. Only around a third of our tracks are used for passengers. That's the lowest it's been since the late 1800s. But demand's growing to dust off more lost lines nationwide and reach emissions targets in the process.
We have to move away from the car as a main form of transport.
Transport makes up a fifth of all our emissions. The Climate Change Commission says we need to slash them by 13% in the next 8 years. Switching from road to rail is paramount.
Every car is producing a lot of carbon dioxide, around, 50 kilograms for a 300 kilometre journey just in that time, whereas a train would be a fifth of that.
We have to decarbonise every part of the sector. We can't all do it at once, but we need to build the platform.
Te Huia reopened less than a year ago, connecting Hamilton and Auckland. Some think more new services could happen without too much fuss.
These are perfectly doable, achievable things with our existing network. We once had a world-leading network.
It is often the case that improved infrastructure is required, and often there's also work to ensure that we can continue to run critical freight services.
The government will release its first emissions reduction plan in May. The draft says we need unprecedented change in transport to meet crucial targets. Michael Wood says he's looking into services linking Wellington to Levin and Auckland. The climate crisis demanding we move quickly and cleanly. Wilson Longhurst, One News.